The Yakuza series is breathtaking. That is not an over-exaggeration. These games are the pinnacle of entertainment. Whether you're here for the insanely in-depth story, the wonderful soundtrack, the tear-jerking characters, a beautiful open world known as the fictional district of Kamurocho, or the hundreds of hours of side activities to do. Whether it's bowling, baseball, karaoke, cabaret clubbing, leading that baseball team, becoming a Hot Wheels champion, helping random people with their issues, owning a real estate agency, working on phone hotlines, beating people up in an underground fighting ring, betting in that underground fighting ring, betting on the underground fighting ring but this time it's boobies, or the greatest of them all, fishing! Needless to say, there is a hell of a lot of things to appreciate about these games, but that barely even scratches the surface of things to enjoy about the franchise, and through this series of videos, we'll be taking a look at pretty much all of it, and an in-depth look at Yakuza 0, which is not only one of the best Yakuza games, but is also my favourite game of all time. It's also the game that you've probably played if you've ever played a Yakuza game. I know that sentence didn't make much sense, but fuck you. Also, if you're watching this video in the future when I've decided to put all of these videos together into one giant ass video, hello, how is the future? Can we eat time yet? No? We'll get back to fucking work then. You may be wondering why I just showed you a deepfake of a horrible catastrophe singing a Japanese song about a man who is madly in love with a woman, but is unable to convey these emotions. Yes, that is what Bakamatai is about. Well, this is what is commonly referred to as a... hold on a sec. A meme machine. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And just like JoJo's, you'd be quite surprised as to how many memes that you know that are from these games. A great way to see all of these memes is to go to r/Yakuza games, though I would be lying if I said you didn't need to at least play a few of these games to actually understand them. There's no point in seeing them if you don't know what the fuck they're on about, you know what I mean? The memes are actually a really big part of the fandom and enjoyment of the games in general. And with this in mind, it actually makes the games a hell of a lot funnier. For example, I was playing Yakuza Kiwami and Haruka says some dumb shit and Kiryu slaps that bitch, and I immediately laughed my ass off. Not because I didn't expect it, but because child abuse is fun. But there are plenty more memes to have come out of this franchise which are mostly hilarious, such as 24-Hour Cinderella, my male fantasy by the way, Kiryu-chan, Majima Everywhere, Mr. What's a Soul Planned, the aforementioned Bakamatai, Fun Times at the Batting Cages, Slamming Door, Kiryu has never killed anyone before, Goromi-chan, you may have noticed a pattern here. Actually more on him later, but I guess now is as good a time as any to start talking about. Kamurocho is a fictional district in Tokyo. It was designed to be the red light district, a place full of cabaret clubs, illegal gambling rings, drugs and weapon smuggling, and of course, the hometown of our Yakuza family. Well, it's a home to the Dojima family, which is a subsidiary of the Tosho clan, which is made up of a bunch of different families, and some of them are from Kamurocho, but it's just generally the east of Japan. But the Dojima family has its own subsidiaries, such as the Kazuma family, which has become more powerful than the Dojimas, and itself had subsidiary families that broke off and rivaled the subsidiary of the subsidiary of the subsidiary. It's all a bit confusing, but you know what? You don't really need to know this stuff. It took me about the third playthrough of Yakuza 0 to even understand how the fuck the families worked. But you know what? That didn't stop me from enjoying it. It's just a good story, so don't let that sort of stuff bog you down. But Kamurocho isn't just full of Yakuza. It's a living, breathing district full of things to do. Literally, you cannot go 5 feet without finding something else to do in the city. whether it's playing games in the arcade, or going to various clubs around town, or getting shit-faced with hostesses, or helping out one of the locals. To me, this is where the game shines. Not the tear-jerking epic main stories, not the crazy fighting moves that you can obliterate your opponents with, but it's the sub-stories where Kiryu helps people around town with their problems. It could be helping a dominatrix woman who's shit at her job become confident in herself, helping a lost child out of the arcade, and sort of becoming a father figure to her, I don't know, it's weird. Helping a reporter get a scoop on a firearms deal, helping an old dementia-ridden man who mistakes you for his dead son come to terms with his loss. Or you can get your Hot Wheels and make some stupid little fucking kids cry. Yeah, fuck you, you little midget bitch. Think you can outrun me in fucking go-kart? Fuck you. Fuck you. I hope you get trampled over by a bunch of horses. I hope someone fucking crucifies you in your sleep. Fuck you. Kamurocho is alive, with literally thousands of sub-stories through the series. Not all entirely original, but pretty much all of them are either emotionally resonant or heartwarming, or just plain funny. There's a reason that I put a good 100 hours into each of the game. Except for you, you little fucking piece of shit. Oh, you thought I forgot about you? Oh no, fuck you. Even though they only take about 20 to 40 hours to complete, they're just fun, and there are plenty of little side stories that you can just experience and enjoy. If you played any of these games, you'll be surprised that this massive hit that has came out with a new game almost every single year since its first release had 0 backers. That's right, the series with a total accumulated of 100 billion yen, I made that up, with a total of over 12 million copies sold. I'm gonna be honest, this one's actually true, but I'm too lazy to find the source for it again, so fuck you. This expansive money cash cow that has tugged at the heartstrings of millions was completely dead in the water from its inception. When it was pitched to the higher-ups at Sega, they flat out rejected it. Yeah, well, it's not like it's the first bad decision they ever made. Yeah, that's right, Sega, I'm calling you out, bitch. First you fuck up the games console market, waste 70 million US dollars with Shen shit. You know, the game no one gave or still gives a shit about. And then you reject the Yakuza series. Then you have Sonic commit a sin upon the television for my child eyes to see and forever be tormented by. Anyway, enough about my childhood. Shoo! Get out of here! Sorry, every time I bring up kids, these fucking Smash players. Anyway, so this lovely lad, I'm not gonna say his name, basically went up to the higher-ups and said, hey, I want to make this game. If it turns out bad, you can have my job. And he said that for multiple reasons. The first reason is fairly obvious. Back in the day, and even now, to a certain extent, video games were mostly just considered to be child's entertainment. And having a mature game, you know, with mature themes, you know, like drugs, alcohol, violence, murder, grand larceny, you know, an adult game, it really wasn't a thing back then. And even if there were games like that, people generally didn't really play them because of the stigma that video games had, and again, to a certain extent, still have. The second reason is because you don't talk about the Yakuza. In Japan, don't speak about them. If you're gonna talk about them in the public to a public audience, you better be saying some real nice things, otherwise you're gonna end up dead. Well, maybe not dead, just having like your legs broken or some shit. You know, murder's not cool, and even the Yakuza know that to certain extents. And if you're gonna be mouthing off about them, you better be real fucking hush-hush about it. And to go out there and just blast out a massive video game talking about all these people and having them actively portray a role was real fucking taboo back then. So, with both of these things weighing against him, they obviously said no. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, it wasn't really that bad of a decision, but you know, with hindsight, yeah, it was fucking stupid. And then those guys got fired for the Dreamcast and Shenmue, and they got replaced with a real cool guy, I'm just gonna assume it's Keanu Reeves, and he repitched the idea, and they went, yeah, fucking do it, that sounds fucking awesome. And so production began. The idea of Yakuza came when the lovely lad was going down the red light district of Tokyo, and just looked around. He was out drinking, and he just came out the shop, and Fuck them neon lights are pretty, he thought, I assume. I don't really know, I'm a fucking child on the other side of the fucking planet. Why would I? Don't assume that I would fucking know that. You know, I'm just a fucking, why would I know? He was looking around and he thought, wow, I really want to capture this idea in a video game. How fucking dare you? Wow, I really want to capture this feeling in a video game, and that is what he had set out to do. And does he capture that feeling in a video game? Well, I've never played the first game, but I'm gonna say yes. Subscribe to my channel. But I will actually go into that when we do the review on Kiwami and Kiwami 2. Yeah, I've decided just during the writing of this that as well as doing Zero, we're gonna do Kiwami in every other game that came out. Except for 3, because 3's a fucking piece of shit. The Yakuza series is about crime conspiracies. Well, at its heart, it's about broken people trying, and failing, to change Japan's underworld to fit their ideologies. But don't worry about that just yet. You know, for a guy who takes part in 7 different crime conspiracies, you gotta wonder, does Kiryu have a life outside of this shit? Yes. Yes, he does. In between story beats, you get to complete sub-stories. These are little side missions, but unlike every other game ever, they aren't just find 276 pumpkins and shove them up your ass in 24 seconds. Instead, Kiryu comes across someone in the street of Kamurocho, or wherever he happens to be. They'll introduce their problems and wacky hijinks ensue. Let me give you a few examples. Kiryu comes across a down-hearted dominatrix who is deeply incompetent at her job and helps her gain confidence in herself. Kiryu helps a local band who follow the theme of greasers come off with their personality that they wish to portray. Kiryu finds a man atop a building and talks him out of suicide over the hostess who has been using him for his money, and literally hundreds more. This is how he chooses to spend his time, helping people. He doesn't know them, yet he takes the time to get to know them, to get them in a better place, even though he works in a dangerous field that actively endangers these very people. This is just the type of person he is. He just likes helping people. It's what he does. His entire goal of being in the Yakuza is to try and clean it up, to get people a better chance. Granted, he never fulfills that. To be honest, he kind of just gives up by the end of the second game, but you know what, that doesn't matter, don't worry about it, it's fine. But you might be wondering, really, is that all he does? Does he not have any hobbies? Well, yes. Yes, he does. There are many games throughout the series. There are the usuals you would probably expect from this sort of game, you know, like going to batting cages, bowling. You can even go to Sega arcades and play Sega games from the time period which this game takes place in. That's really fucking cool, by the way. You can go to the karaoke bar, where each playable character has their own selection of songs. Some of them just don't like karaoke, so you can't play karaoke as them. And everyone has different songs for each game, because different songs are popular. This sort of stuff in like a Japanese life sim is sort of to be expected. You can even see some of these things in things like Persona, where you can go to the back cages in P5. Granted, not all of these you would come to expect in a video game like bowling. That's sort of like a Wii Sports. It's its own thing, you know? But nothing too crazy. But now we get into Hot Wheels territory. What? You don't know what that means? Well, it means a 10-hour campaign with villains, characters, allies, character arcs, leveling system, game mechanics. Fuck it, you know what? You're just playing a new game. You got a new game, you didn't even realize it. It's a brand new video game starring Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza franchise, also starring Dante from the DMC franchise. I'm not joking, by the way, in pretty much every single one of these games, except from you. Fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. There's about 2 or 3 brand new games in a game that is already massive, and each of these will take about 10 hours to beat. I think the best example of this is the aforementioned Hot Wheels. It's called Circuit Racers, and it's fucking fun. It's got racing systems, car building, customization, and a whole new load of characters to interact with, and parts to collect throughout Kamurocho. And did you know what? I didn't even know it existed till my 3rd playthrough of Zero. I'm not fucking joking. This entire thing takes place in one building down a part of a street that you never have to go near. Literally, I didn't go there until my third playthrough when I went over to the child's park and then I saw a building with a sign out of it next to it and I went, hey, I wonder what's over there. And I got pulled into a cutscene and it brought me into a new fucking video game. What the fuck? Like seriously, if you didn't know this existed, you probably will never go down that street because you have no reason to go there. And since we're talking about Zero, there are two more examples that I want to talk about from that game. The real estate business with Kiryu and the hostess club with Majima. Both of these are actually just as in-depth as the circuit racers, but they actually show up briefly in the main campaign. Chapter 5 is when you first see the real estate thing, where Kiryu bumps into the guy and then you then have the option to go and see what the fuck's up with this guy. Oh, he wants to give me a real estate business? Oh, that's cool, just cha-ching, bitch. And then with Majima, he's just kind of walking down the street and then, hey, do you want to join our hostess club? And it's fucking sure. Never outright told by the game that, hey, you should go and do these things, but it does make it abundantly clear that this is an option for you to make money. With the real estate, it very simply is that you just get money, go up to a shop that is for sale, buy it, and then you start raking in some fucking cash. You have managers, you have fucking property owner people, I forgot. Bouncers, that's the word. You can tell I'm good at this. In the real estate, there are like 5 main villains. Each of them own a section of Kamurocho and will be doing everything within their power to get you out of business. When you try to make money, when you're raking in the cash, they'll come through and disturb your workers and you need to go there and kick their fucking asses. Eventually, when you own a big enough amount of that area, they will invite you out and you get to kick their fucking teeth in, and then they give up and say, hey, I'll help with your business, because I don't want to be fucking homeless in a week. I'll help with your business. I'll be a manager, I'll be a bouncer, I'll help you researcher, I'll help you, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be entirely honest, I've spent about 100 hours in Yakuza 0 and I've still not beat that part of the game. I just genuinely haven't. It's just taken so fucking long that I've not done it. It's the same with Circuit Racers, I kinda gave up, I'm not very good at it. And Majima's thing, I don't like the hostess club. It's something that persists of the game. I don't want to talk about it because I just don't like it. But it's something that you get in pretty much all of the games. It's a management simulator game. It's just not my thing. I just don't like it. But the money, the real estate is fun, and watching children cry when you fucking beat them up in a fucking Hot Wheels is my pride and joy. I just haven't finished it. So, yeah. I like these games. Also in Kiwami 2, my main man Majima, he was the guy who was doing the hostess clubs, he runs a construction company, and you get to do a thing with him. But it's not another simulation game. It's not a, okay, you guys do this, you guys do that. Yeah, we built a new building. Yay, hooray! Whoa! Oh, well done! No, it's Fire Emblem? No, like seriously, it's an RTS Fire Emblem. Notice how I'm not laughing, I'm being genuine, I'm serious. They put Fire Emblem in a completely missable fucking minigame. Oh my god, I love you people. Fun fact, so far I'm only on Yakuza 4 right now, and so far Kiwami 2 has been my favourite game. Not because of the story, if that was so it would have been Yakuza 0. But it was just because I got so much novelty out of being able to walk inside a shop rather than having to sit through a loading screen. Just like seamlessly walking in. And when you're in Osaka, there's this building that you can walk through the front door, and then you can walk downstairs and then walk through a back door. And you're at the fucking river, and I don't know why, but that was just so fucking cool. That was so cool. It's so cool! I've kind of been talking about the wacky side of Yakuza this entire video, but the main story is anything but. Take Zero for example. It's about a man who is being hunted by not only the police, but his own family for a murder he didn't commit, as he's been set up to destroy the power that his adopted father had in the Yakuza. And the other character, Goro Majima, is an ex-Yakuza forced to run a cabaret club, to be humiliated time and time again to get back in, before he's told that he has to murder an innocent woman to get back in, only to fall in love with her and get beaten to the ground time and time and time and fucking time again to give her the shot at a life that she has always wanted that she will never get. I mentioned earlier that Yakuza is about broken people, and it is. Every single main character is packing a lot of baggage. Take Haruka, for example, the adoptive daughter of Kiryu, who watched everyone she ever loved get murdered, or Majima, who constantly fights an uphill battle he knows he can't win, and saying any more would be a massive spoiler, even though I already spoiled it. Oopsies. At the end of the day, it's fine if you don't like Yakuza, I get it. It's a bit crazy at times, it's not in English, and some of the plots are complicated and make no fucking sense. 3. God, you're such a fucking disappointment, Jesus Christ. It's almost as if you're me, you fucking disappointing asshole. But if you don't give it a shot, you're really missing out. I suggest you start with 0. Not only is it probably the best game in the series, so far I have really high hopes for 7, but it's a prequel, so it's a perfect jumping in point. And with 2 installments on Steam, all of them are 15 quid too, or if you have Xbox Game Pass, you already have 0 Kiwami and Kiwami 2. Though I do suggest you play them on PS4, the entire series is there, and it kinda bugs me that I'll have 0 Kiwami, Kiwami 2 on Steam, 3 through 6 on PlayStation, and then 7 on Steam again. That's kind of stupid. But if you think 15 quid is a lot, that's fine. Just get it when they're on sale. End of the day though, it's your money. You do what the fuck you want with it. If you don't want to get the game, that's fine. If you like this video, I would massively appreciate it if you would leave a little like, a subscribe. If you somehow made it all the way to the end of the video, your view alone is appreciated enough, but quite frankly, if you could do that, that would be a massive fucking help. I would appreciate that greatly. I don't know how to end the fucking video. Join me next time when we keep doing this fucking bullshit.